In today's video, we're going to discuss, well, the difference between agitator balls. One of these that are in this list is not like all the others. And today, I'm going to explain to you why there's a difference, why to choose one over the other, and what happens if you don't. What's going on, boys and girls? So I'm just planning on doing a bunch of little videos, basically how-tos, do's and don'ts that I've learned over time, whether it be using putties, adding things to your mixing jars. Today's video is going to be about agitators that you can put in your paint jars, whether they're Mr. Color, whether they're something like this, which is an acrylic paint, because there are do's and there are don'ts. Something that I want to discuss with you guys is there's a lot of sellers on Amazon selling basically a stainless steel ball bearings or balls that you can add to, your paint jars. But you have to really be careful because a majority of them are not stainless steel. They are just regular steel balls. And what happens when you end up putting one of those in your paint? Yep, something like that. So I'm going to explain to you what I end up using. I am currently out of them because, well, my vacuum ate some, and then I got, I don't know, 100, 120 bottles of Vallejo paint, different types of paint, and I used all the ones that I end up having. But what we're going to do is shoot down to the table, and I'm going to explain to you what I end up using and why. So without further ado, let's go. All right, so here we are taking a look at what I've got. Some of these are from personal items, being piercings that I end up using. Some of them are what I picked up on Amazon thinking that they were advertised as stainless steel. There are a couple of balls in here that are too small to end up using, but what I end up using these for is both in, say, my Mr. Color bottles and also in my Vallejo bottles. What it does is it agitates, it sits in the bottom. Some of these bottles will sit for a while. You'll get some separation like this, so you get the pigment in the bottom and then the medium up at the top. You shake them and it'll take a while to agitate naturally. Now they do make items that you can stick in there to mix them, but it can be messy and also waste, paint. And I hate wasting anything. So one of the things I recommend, I don't care what it is, as long as it has a magnet in it. As you guys know, I have a ton of magnets, so this is what I end up using when I end up ordering them, and this is what I would suggest for you guys. So some of these, like this one, you can see there's just barely any, and it's completely natural to have a little, for a magnet to affect it a little bit. You're going to end up with some things in there. The main reason that you want to make sure that you have stainless steel versus just steel is, well, just like this that I showed in the FaceTime. As you can see, there's a ball that's in here, and I didn't test it first, and this is just a regular steel ball, and you can see the rust that's around it from sitting in the bottle. Water and steel, well, it causes it to corrode and create rust, and you don't want that. Now, it's not as detrimental in something like a lacquer paint because that's not water-based, but I still recommend using a stainless steel. What I prefer using is something like these little balls, but in this size because they weigh just as much. And what these are is hematite. I will put a link down below where I end up getting these, and what they come on is a string for bracelets. You can use it as a bracelet, you can use it for making necklaces, things like that. Now, the one downside is that hematite is naturally, as you can see, these two are sticking together, they're naturally magnetic. But that doesn't affect anything unless, and this is the one caveat, I would not recommend using these in metallic paints, because what it's going to do is it's going to draw the metal flakes to the ball, and you don't want that. So you can make a choice of either just using stainless steel balls or using hematite. You can also get these at bead shops. You can get them from cheap jewelry. It's really easy. It has this gray metallic finish to it. They're always naturally heavy. Like hematite, I think, is actually heavier than these stainless steel balls when it's in the equal size. Now, one of the things that's disappointing is there's some of these, like this one. So this was sold as a stainless steel ball for a piercing, and the piercing itself is stainless steel, but the ball is not. So what ends up happening is you can get corrosion while wearing the piercing. You also get corrosion if you stick it into a paint that's water-based. Some of these others, like this one or this one, these balls I ended up getting that were sold as stainless steel are not. They're just regular steel. And as it is, they stick. These are the kind that you do not want. So just make sure when you get them and you're planning on using them in paints, just grab yourself a magnet and test them. It's easy enough. There's like all three of these are magnetic. We'll get those out of the way. This one is not. That one's stainless steel. That one, it probably has some steel, like regular steel in it, and it's not fully stainless steel, because you can see I can kind of manipulate it around the table, but not really. This one, same thing. It probably has a little impurities in it, but these haven't rusted. This one over here though, this one is regular just steel. It's super magnetic. This one, not at all. These of course are, because hematite is, well, magnetic. Like I said, they'll stick to the regular steel. The main purpose in this video was just to let you guys know do's and don'ts. So basically, water-based paints use only stainless steel. Test them with a magnet first just to make sure that they are stainless steel and you don't get any mess ups like this. You can use stainless steel in your lacquer paints. I have taken some of the regular steel balls and stuck in some of my Mr. Color to test, and those have not corroded, but that is because Mr. Color is lacquer based. Now, I'm not going to say that it won't cause any issues with the steel itself, maybe eating it, but I haven't seen any issues with that. But you're better off just sticking with stainless steel. Your other option, again, is hematite. You can get them in the same size, whatever size fits in the bottle. You only need one, maybe two of the balls in the jars, but I only stick one. All you really have to do is just kind of shake it. If it's been sitting for a long time, just tap the bottom of it. It'll break the ball loose out of the sediment or out of the pigment that's in the bottle, and then you can shake it. They do sell items like these for mixing your paints, but the downside of that is you end up wasting paint in the end. And I hate wasting paint. So these, especially if you're just using a little bit, if you're painting minis, if you're doing touch-ups on a kit, something like that, or even if you're fully painting, just grab yourself some little balls, stick in there. You guys should be good. Again, I will put a link down to the hematite that I ended up purchasing. Of course, it is on Amazon. They were super cheap for what they are, and I think there's like 60 to a strand, so you can do up to 60 bottles with just one strand. So that ends up being a good deal in itself. It saves yourself some headache. You know, you just end up shaking them. They make machines to shake paints. They make all kinds of things, but you can easily just do it, whether it's with this or whether it's something like this. It just makes your life much easier. If your paint's been sitting for any time, it's going to sell where you have your, whether it's a lacquer, you're going to have your thinner at the top and then your color sitting at the bottom. If it's a water-based paint like this, you're going to have your medium / water at the top, and it's going to have your color at the bottom. I haven't seen one, I'm looking at the rack right now, and I haven't seen one that's sitting for a long time. It hasn't had some kind of separation in there. You need to make sure and mix it well. Shake it for at least 60 seconds, if not 90 seconds. You know, just shake it well. You'll know when you're testing it out. If it comes out really goopy and too thick, you know, you're going to want to thin that some more, shake it some more. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to get something up. I've been working on a bunch of little videos. The next video that's coming up is going to be a just basic on how to fix broken resin to put it back together. And then I'm going to finally post up the video on my updated how-to, I should say, on using baking soda and glue for fixing divots, cracks, gaps, all kinds of stuff in resin and regular kits. And then we're going to do a video on mill put of how to use it, and also how to thin that down to be able to fill a little thin gaps and details like that. Hope you guys all enjoyed. If you have, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, YouTube.